who is responsible for this termite inspection when you're actually buying a home? We're going to jump into it, but thank you for this question. If you've got a question like this you'd like to have me answer, type it down below and I'll create a video just for you. I promise, just for you. No one else will see it. So anyway, let's talk about this guy's termite inspection. The termite inspection falls into just about everything else when we talk about inspections on a house, and that's the responsibility of the buyer. You see, when you're buying a house, the seller puts the house up for sale and says, I want to sell this house. The buyer makes an offer, and when they make that offer has some conditions. There's typically a condition about inspections and evaluation. There's typically a condition that they want to have an appraisal done. There's typically a condition that they want to have, and the loan has to come in for what they're wanting, and then they typically have a closing deadline for these things to take place. During that inspections and evaluations, the buyer has the right to do any inspections on the property, but it's at their cost and on their dime, and the seller's responsible for opening up their property and making it reasonably available for the buyer to do those inspections. If the buyer does an inspection and they do any damage to the property, they're typically responsible for curing that damage or making it happen. For example, on a termite inspection, if they have to drill into something to look at things, the buyer would be responsible for making that repair back into the condition that it was before. Because here's the thing, if the buyer does the inspection and finds something they don't like, then they can pull themselves out of the contract. So lots of times a buyer will get a termite inspection done. We require it anytime we give a loan to somebody, because termites are little pesky things that can do a ton of damage and get yourself in a bad situation. So you want to know about that before you buy the property, so you can know what remediations that may be or how much damage is actually there. In addition to that, lots of times you'll do a property inspection as well, so you can know any of the problems that the property may have. Now with that, the next thing that you can do is take that to the seller and say, we found a bunch of problems. We think you should pay to fix them. We think you should lower the price and then we'll take care of it. And that's a negotiating point. Or you just say, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and take care of it ourselves and not talk to the seller or worry about the seller about it. Or the other option you have is just removing yourself from the contract, saying, I don't want to buy this property anymore. Now, if you do that, in any of these, the inspections are on your dime. You pay for that. So basically kind of look at it as insurance. You paid for something to make sure you didn't buy a property, or you paid for something to let the seller know. Now, even if you can't come to terms with the seller, you're still liable for that inspection cost, and you're the one that's responsible for paying for that. Now, lots of times if you're getting an FHA loan or something like that, the lender will order that and they will include that as part of the closing costs, and then that will get paid. So basically they'll wrap it into your loan in some cases. So it's really going to depend on your lender and how that works out. When you're talking about investing, most of the time the buyer's paying for it, but who isn't paying for that in most cases is the seller. Now, could you ask the seller to pay for it? You could. Lots of times, because every contract's negotiated, you can ask the seller to pay for those things. In most cases, the seller's not going to, but you could ask and see where that goes. But in most cases, it's the buyer's responsibility and the buyer's cost. But like anything in life, or should I say most things in lives, it is all negotiable. So it really comes down to what you and the seller agree to. But most of the real estate purchase contracts have standard verbiage that says the buyer's responsible to do that on their own cost, and the seller's responsible to make the home available. Now, if you've been enjoying this video, hit that thumbs up button. It tells me I'm doing a great job, and I really appreciate it because I want to do a great job for you and for all my other subscribers, which reminds me, if you're not a current subscriber, please hit that subscribe and bell notification. I would really appreciate it. Now, with all this, if you would like to get my motivated seller sheet, you can text me your email address to 435-294-0433, and I'll send you over my motivated seller sheet. I've also got a video on how to negotiate house prices after inspections. Like if you got this termite inspection done and there were some problems, how to negotiate that. I'll put that video on the screen so you can check it out. I've also got a blog as who's responsible for lender required repairs. If a lender requires something to be done, who's responsible for paying for that? Go ahead and check that out. I'll put that in the comments below. Otherwise, make it a very profitable day, and bye for now.